Hey, folks, what's going on? Listen, I am testing out some new gear. We got to test out for a new uh, project that we're doing. And so I got to test it out, so I might as well test it out live, see if it's going to work. We're going to answer a couple questions. These are the primary questions that we've been getting this week in our classes. So let's go back, rewind a little bit. As you know, before we used to have a radio show. We've been approached again to do another radio show, and we've been thinking about it and decided not to for several reasons. Main thing is I don't want to be restricted. I don't want to be restricted what I'm going to say. If I'm going to say something political, if I happen to curse, which I'm from Jersey, it's going to happen eventually. And what sponsors want you to say and not say on the radio show. So why not embrace it? Podcast it all the way, do it on Facebook, social media, and it's much easier, and I can say what I want to say. We stopped doing classes for a while when we used to be over at Aegis. Came over here, and that's another story. You look at my personal page, I explained that one. But we're over here now. We got Florida Concealed Carry, right off here of Porter Lake Road in Sarasota. We have the Gun Shop of Sarasota. Unique name, the Gun Shop. Go figure. A lot of things have changed. We haven't done classes. Well, we've been doing them now for a year. We stopped doing them for a year, roughly, because we did not have a place to do them. And that's going to go into one of our first questions is what range should you go to? Folks, this is a big thing in our classes that we get into. People are talking, hey, when I go to a range, what's the best range to go to? And I'm not one to bash one company, put another company. Listen, you got to find the one that you like. Now, there are only two ranges in these two counties, indoor ranges, that I would ever step foot in. I'm going to get to them in a second. First off, I'd rather go to the outdoor range, hands down, any day of the week. Reason for that is it's not as loud. They have range safety officers. That's the biggest thing right there. If you go to a range and there's no range safety officer, leave. You know, like our motto is, ban idiots, not guns. Guess what? There's a bunch of idiots out there. I had a kid recently in the class that ruined his career in the military because he went to a public range and the person next to him shot him in the leg. Because they didn't know how to rack their gun, didn't know where the proper finger placement was supposed to be, racked their gun with the finger on the trigger, the gun went off, pointed in the wrong direction, bang, right through the guy's leg, there goes his career. I see more accidents at ranges, I'm not going to bring them up, but do a simple Google search, just the ranges here in Sarasota. You can pick Manatee as well, but Sarasota happens to be the main place for them. I'm not going to those places. I stepped foot into a range not too long ago, a little over a year ago probably. I went in there, I stood there for about 5 minutes, and I walked out. And there wasn't many people in there, and I was like, this is the dirtiest, most disgusting, unsafe places I've been. So I wasn't even going to waste my time staying there any longer, walked out. That's why we built our own little single-lane range here for our training with Florida Concealed Carry. But let's get back into it. The two outdoor ranges in the area, Manatee Gun Club and Knights Trail. Two great places to go. Manatee Gun Club, way out on State Road 64. Knights Trail, what's that? Laurel Road, whatever it is down there in Nokomis. Great place to go to. They're a little strict sometimes, but guess what? Strict is good. They're keeping you safe and keeping you shooting and not getting hurt. Long story short. I want the range safety officers to be strict, especially when they don't know you. I want to wait till they get comfortable with you and know that you know how to use your gun and use it safely. Again, there's a lot of people out there that have guns that, let's face it, shouldn't. They have no clue how to use them or weren't trained properly how to use them. Indoor ranges. There's only two that I would step foot in the two counties. One being Take Aim. Good friends over there. That's down there, University and 301. And the next one's going to be Total Impact. That's the new one down there in Nokomis. If you guys are listening, what's up, Joel? Great place. They actually have a awesome HEPA filter system. Even our little range here, we have a HEPA filter system. Theirs is incredible. They took us up on the roof, let us check it out and all that. Amazing. I swear if you have allergies, walk into the range, you'll no longer have allergies. Folks, that's a big thing. We're not supposed to eat lead chips and lead paint and all that other fun stuff. You shouldn't be breathing it. If you walk out of a range and blow your nose or sneeze or something like that and black stuff comes out, that's not a good thing. So those are the only two ranges I go to, and besides for the HEPA filter system at Total Impact and everything, it's because they're safe. They're watching people. If they see somebody doing something wrong, they have somebody on their butt warning them, telling them how to do it the right way, and if they don't do it the right way in the future, they throw them out. That's what I'm looking for. Again, do another search. That range up there on Bee Ridge, I'm not going to use their name. Horrible. Won't step foot in that place. Do a Google search. You'll figure it out for yourself. I mean, that is disgusting. In my eyes, they should be shut down by the state. Besides that, we're going to get into ammunition. We can jump right into there. And again, this is a big test thing, what we're going to be doing. I'm just making sure the equipment works. I'm trying to watch and see if we have any comments on Facebook, and not having any luck. So I'm going to look real quick. Hey, there we are. Now, I'm trying to see if there's any comments in there so I can answer your questions. This part is not working that great. If anybody has any solutions for me, help me out here. I'm doing this by myself right now. But listen, ammunition, folks, everybody's been asking about it. Ammo is on a shortage. You are not going to see it now for a while. I am sorry. That's what's going to happen. Remember Sandy Hook a few years back? I don't think we're going to see ammo again until next year. They're claiming that there's a big shortage of the brass and the primers and all that. They've gone through that stuff in the past with Sandy Hook and everything. The whole thing comes down to, and the way it was explained for me from some of the manufacturers are, January they're making 9mm. February they're making 40, March they're making 45. They're not going back to make 9 until next January. They made their money. They made their budget. They're out there living their life right now, as we should be doing. But they made it. They're not going to rush back and do it just for us. I wish they would. They'd make more money, and some of them are trying. But by the time they get the stuff made, they get the brass, start making the primers, get everything done, set up their gear and equipment and all that, it's going to be a while. Now, what we got to stop doing is hoarding the ammo. People hoard ammo like it's going out of style, and my camera just turned off on me. Okay, we're back. Hopefully this is working again. Don't know what happened there. We lost the live feed. Maybe it was an internet problem. Don't know. That's what we're testing this equipment out for. But anyway, let's get back into the ammo situation. Listen, folks, you're not going to see ammo again probably until next year. That's just my belief. Same thing happened during Sandy Hook. I mean, this is like the perfect storm of everything going on. They just don't have the brass. They don't have the primers. They're not making it right now. Hopefully we'll see some companies like Agula, Magtech, and some of our foreign ammo manufacturers chipping in and actually getting us out of this ammo shortage. Only thing I can ask you to do is conserve your ammo. These people that are hoarding ammo, that they need 500,000 rounds of 9mm. How quick are you going to load your magazines? I mean, what are you trying to do? One person has that much ammo? I mean, I'm not taking it away from it. If that's what you want to have it. But folks, let other people have it too. Folks, save it. When you go into the range, limit how much you're actually going to shoot. Shoot 50 rounds instead of shooting 500 rounds. You can still do a lot of training with those 50 rounds, taking your time and concentrating on one thing and one thing only. When you find ammo, there are a lot of scams out there going on with ammo right now that you need to be aware of. First off, be careful of the online scams. A lot of these companies online, like they did with Sandy Hook, and again, do a simple Google search. You'll see it going on now. We hear about it every day, is people said, hey, I found a case of ammo over at Bass Pro or something like that, and they buy a case of it, and like 3 weeks later, they're inquiring where it's at, and they get a response. Hey, listen, there was a problem shipping it. We're out right now. It's going to be here in a couple days. We'll ship it right to you. Yeah. 2 months later, you're trying to get your money back and doing a claim with your credit card company and everything to get your money back. Don't fall for that scam. Same thing when you're going into some gun shops. I mean, none of the gun shops I know of in the area are taking special orders on ammo because we just have no clue when we're going to get it. There are a few gun shops I went into that actually had ammo, and for like 9mm, they're trying to get $1.25 a round. Folks, that's just highway robbery. I mean, the price of ammo has gone up. The distributors have upped the price of ammo on us. Most of us gun shops out there, reputable gun shops, we're making the same margin, the same couple dollars that we usually make. But something that we sold back in March for, $10, $11 is now going for $20, $22. And some of these shops are charging excess of $60 for the same box. Remember that stuff in the future, folks. Those are the people ripping you off. I believe in capitalism and all that, but that's just greed right there, and they're taking advantage of you. Especially with some of these companies, cheaper than dirt and stuff like that. They are doing the same thing. Remember that. They did that back in the day. They lost their retail shops because of that, and people still buy from them. It just really cracks me up. That's a consumer problem, not the business problem. So, scams that I'm seeing there with ammo right now are the reloads. Folks, you know my opinion on reloads, and I'm not a huge fan of them. Most of the damaged guns that we have coming in our shops with either double charges and or squib loads, stuff like that, all come from reloads. We have not had one ever come in 11 years come through from factory ammo. Can it happen? Yes. It's extremely rare. So, folks, be careful with that stuff right there. When you go and buy a box of ammo from a gun shop, now, checking out to make sure our live feed's still working, but when you're going to buy a box of ammo from a gun shop, let's say it's Federal. If you open up that box, the bottom of the casing is going to say Federal, 9mm, 9x19, 9 Luger, whatever it is you bought. Every single casing is going to say the same exact thing. It's going to look new. It's going to be shiny. It's going to be clean. If you lined it up on the table, it's all going to be level. You can probably take a level across that, and it's going to be perfect. If you open up your box, like happened here a couple weeks ago in the class, people came in. I was like, holy cow, where'd you score that ammo at? They gave me the gun shop name. I'm not going to repeat it, but it is a local gun shop. Hey, we bought it there. During the class, I'm telling people the same thing I'm saying now. I'm like, when you open up a box, I took their box, opened it up, and I'm looking inside. I said, it's all going to say Federal. And I'm looking at it going, well, it's funny. It's a Federal box, but this one says PMC. We got MagTech. We got this. We got that. Every casing was different. You can see the marks that was reloaded several times. You can tell by looking at the cases. We lined all the cartridges up on the table, and it looked like hills and valleys. It was up all over the place. Folks, the place restuffed the box with reloads and charged them out the you-know-what for it. Folks, I would be livid, and these people were. What's going to happen, when you buy a new gun, Glock, whatever it's going to be, you look third, fourth page of your owner's manual. It tells you if you use reloads, you void your warranty. Now you're going to what you thought was a reputable gun shop, buying your ammunition, thinking you're buying factory ammo, which just means new ammo from a manufacturer. And the gun shop is restuffing the boxes with reloads to increase your profits and everything else. I wouldn't mind so much if they told the person it was reloads, but they did not. They hid the fact by putting it in a factory box. That's why if you ever go to a gun range, and there's only one that I know of in the area that does it, that has boxes, recycle bins out there and says, hey, we recycle the ammo boxes. Bullshit. They're reloading those ammo boxes with reloads, selling it to you at a premium price, and you're taking the risk of hurting your gun, yourself, whatever. It's not worth it. These are the places you need to remember, folks. And it really pisses me off, and I think you can tell this by now. But, look, come on. 11 years, when our gunsmith gets a gun in that has some kind of damage like that, every single time it's been from reloads. And I'm friends with some of these reload companies out there, and there are some good ones out there. I know private individuals that reload, and they make some awesome ammo. If I did it myself, I'm a pretty fastidious guy. I would trust myself. I'm sure if you did your own ammo, you would trust it. Do you trust crazy-eyed Billy Bob standing over there that's making it in his garage, drinking a PBR? All he cares about is going to the gun show, dumping the ammo he just made so he can buy another case of beer? No. Be careful out there with those scams, folks. Please, be careful. It's happening out there constantly. Watch out with the gun scams, too. A lot of companies, especially online, taking money for guns that they do not have. There's only one or two shops I know of in the area that have been doing that. Rumor has it, so I'm not even going to bring it up. Surprisingly, a lot of them, the ones I would second guess, are not even taking special orders on guns because, folks, we just don't know when we're going to get them. So why would I hold on to your money when it's something I don't know if I'm going to get it next week, next month, next year? So watch out for that one. Be careful online. That's all I got to say. Support your local business. Go local. Find yourself a good, reputable gun shop, and the key word is reputable. Jump online, check out some of the reviews. Folks, you're smart enough to see the fake reviews. There are idiots out there, anti-gun people, that are going on all the gun pages now and writing bad reviews about businesses and stuff like that, and it's BS. I'm backing up every gun shop out there right now. You can figure those out real quick, especially when it's a fake name. They have no pictures, no profile, and the only thing they ever have written about on Google or something like that is just bashing other gun shops and stuff. Training. Folks, make sure that we are training. You are practicing those fundamentals, then also training as you fight. Make sure you are getting the right training. St. Pete a couple weeks ago, what was it? The kids had the gun for a month. Knew the shooting, 21-year-old. I say kids, they were 21, 22 years old, whatever it was. They get their first firearm. They go to the range. They take a class somewhere. Instantly, they think they're badasses. So while they're home, come back from the range, they're all pumped up, got the adrenaline rush. They clean their guns, and they say, hey, now we're going to do tactical training. First off, where did you get your tactical training from? Was it from somebody who can actually do the tactical training? Or did you watch something on YouTube? Well, apparently they watched something on YouTube or really went to a bad place. Kid was running around the house. Again, kid, he was in his 20s, doing their house clearing and all that, and they did it with a loaded gun. When he pressed the trigger, he shot and killed his friend. Folks, be careful of that stuff. Make sure when you go and get training, it's done correctly. Now, of course, I want you to come to us. You know, I think, and hands down, I think we have the best class I've ever seen in the state. No question in my mind about that. Are there other good instructors in the area? Yes. But recently I heard of one that I thought was a decent instructor. I've talked to the guy a few times. Then I talked to a police officer from another state that took a class there, and he said, yeah, I learned some really interesting stuff. And he was telling me these different laws he learned. I'm like, wait, where's this at? He told me. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, the guy wasn't too good with the guns and all that, but he really knew the laws. And I'm like, well, that's not a law down here in the state of Florida. And it was simple. I pulled up the Florida state statutes. Himself being a retired law enforcement officer, he knows how to read the statutes and do all that stuff. It's pretty simple. And he's like, oh, that's the exact opposite of what the guy said. So long story short, I lost respect for that person that's doing those classes, and they do it in a couple of different places. If you don't know the laws, you don't know how to teach the laws, or you don't know how to teach it, just don't do it. Another person sitting there bragging about their experience. I've had a license for 5 years. Okay. Have you trained any classes? How many people have you taught in those 5 years? How many classes have you taught? And it's funny, when you go back through their Facebook page and everything, you see something from 5 years ago, then you see nothing but selfies and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden they're back in the training. Capitalists, again, they're trying to make that money. I don't blame them. Make the money while you can, but they haven't done it in years until this whole pandemic started, and gun sales and training and everybody wanting their licenses went through the roof. Now, all of a sudden, they're the best trainer in the world, and they can do everything. Where have they been the past 3.5 years? They haven't been teaching classes anywhere. Where have they been? Exactly, folks. Yes, we took off for a year doing stuff because we didn't have a facility to do it. Was I still doing classes at places? Yes. Couldn't publicize it because we were on private property doing stuff, but different story. Now we have a place. There are a lot of good instructors down here, but there are even more bad instructors. I say for every good instructor, there's 3 or 4 bad ones. A lot of them go take a class somewhere, and they go get the NRA certification. Next we know they're an instant badass. They watch some YouTube videos, and now they think they're the best instructor in the world. There's a lot to it. I mean, the first thing we go over in our firearm safety training classes are the firearm safety rules, whatever you want to call it. First and foremost, if you're going to retain anything from the class and you're new to firearms, it better be the safety rules. And then we're going to go over the fundamentals. You've taken my class. You know about how I do the fundamentals. There's the real way, then there's the real way. Then we go over the gear and all that stuff. And we're going to do a whole segment on gear pretty soon, probably next week. But then we spend a large majority of the time on the laws. Because let's face it, statistically speaking, you probably never have to pull out your firearm and use it for personal protection. And I hope you never have to. But there is a very good chance that you're going to bring that firearm somewhere you're not supposed to have it. Or maybe use it in a situation you shouldn't be using it in. And that's what's great when you have a instructor that has a law enforcement background, attorneys and stuff like that, because they can actually really get in depth into these situations where other people can't. And you want to answer all those what-if questions. Yesterday's class was full of what-if questions, and I loved it. Some of them are really good. And this is real life, folks. Think about that. Couple up there in Missouri, whatever it was. You know, that guy standing out there with his AR-15 and the lady standing there like she's like doing the little teapot dance. I'm a little teapot and all that stuff. Folks, if you did that down here, you're going to get in trouble. You cannot do it. Don't believe everything you see on YouTube. Do some research. Do the facts you're checking yourself. You know, we sit there and we watch. They said, oh, they broke down the fence of their house and everything else, and they were on their property. And not really. They walked into a gated community. Walking down the street. Let me ask you this question. Maybe you can answer it for me. If you were walking down the street or anywhere, and the person you did not know was pointing a gun at you, what would your response be? I know what mine would be. Long story short, I'm shooting. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's what I'm going to be doing. I am not able to answer any questions here on the Facebook because I cannot see them. This is horrible. If anybody's watching that, let me know. Send me a text that you're getting these things because for some odd reason, it's not showing it to me. But again, folks, you need to know what's going on with everything. So please. Somebody just said, Night's Trailer. Ooh, now stuff's finally popping up. James, what's up, bud? Good morning. I don't know if this was the first segment or the second segment here. But anyway, folks, get the right training. Vet your instructors. Make sure they are who they say they are. Look for reviews. Make sure they're real reviews. I see a lot of them out there, and I'm friends with some of these instructors, and they send out a blanket message to everybody on Facebook. Hey, write a nice review about me online so I can get bumped up in the rankings. Hello? How about you ask the people that actually took your class? Or maybe if you did a good enough job, they're just going to write the review all by themselves. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. I'm not going to bash people all day long. Folks, be careful with the ammo. Be careful what range you're going to. That's a big thing. Be careful of those ranges. Again, there's only 2 in the area that I would step foot in, indoor ranges. The 2 outdoor ranges I would go to anytime. So, folks, if you have any questions about anything, please don't hesitate. Oh, here we go here. Dark basement? Nah, Gary, this isn't a dark basement. It's sunny outside. It was raining. I don't want all these bright lights in here. It's a weekend. I was out last night. So, yeah, no, it's not a dark basement. This is our actually where we do all the photos, the badass photos of the guns and everything back there. That was the first. Thanks, James. See, I got people helping me out here. I'm also posting this on my damn personal page. It's working there, but it's not working on the Florida Concealed. I will get this figured out. Thanks, Lee. And Dave, what's going on, man? Haven't seen you in a while. You got to stop by the shop one day when I'm there. We actually got some more help here in the laser shop. Yes, we do laser engraving here. And it's a total separate location. Long story short, it's actually kind of funny. I go from doing my law enforcement background, doing the stuff that I did with the government overseas and all that, come back here, do the firearms training, have a gun shop and everything, and we're making wedding decorations. Life is full of unexpected events, but you know what? It's working. It's working out extremely well. We brought on somebody full time to just help out doing all that stuff. So life is good. I'm not going to complain. So listen, we're going to start coming out here a couple times a week, having shows. We're going to start bringing some guests on there, but our big thing is going to be answering your training questions and questions about guns. So folks, have a great day. We are out of here. I'll leave it at that.